I think this is, for our listeners, this is the thing that is a running theme throughout all these discussions that I have with producers that I admire. And it's pay more attention to the vocal.
Right.
That is the song. You can spend as much time on the kick as you want, but if the vocal isn't there, it's never going to matter.
It's never going to matter.
Yeah, and this is why I'm glad you're talking about this. It's like getting it in the room and getting it out of the singer.
Being able to bring that emotion, and like, songs to me, they should just ignite the listener's inner movie theater, you know, and a lot of that's lyrics. Like when we've worked on songs together, we've talked about that. And also emotionally, and what in that vocal performance is going to bring that space. And also dynamics are such a huge part of that emotion.
Right.
Or being like, hey, can you physically smile more?
It's such a weird thing to tell people to do, but it works.
Yeah. Can you keep your lips over your teeth?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just a period of discovery and being like, hey, can you try doing it like this? I want to see what that brings. Okay, that's cool. What about like this? And then it's not till the final comp when I'm like, oh yeah, that does sound better than the other ones.
Yeah.
You know?
How I'm doing vocals, and it's been very good to me, I usually let the artist like do a couple takes where it's like, I'm not going to give you any notes.
Yeah.
Do you, because I am wrong all the time and I want to make sure I don't influence you at all.
Right.
And then I'll start giving them notes. And the thing that I say a lot is when we're playing these characters or when we're trying stuff is like, I always say, go too far.
Right.
Go way too far, and then let's pull it back. I find that it's much faster and easier to go too far and pull it back than to ramp your way up to it.
Yeah.
In my, many vocals that I've done.
Yeah.
Over
that's
the
a
years.
really good point.
Yeah.
I'm going to start using that because sometimes you can get ramping up can also just take a bunch of takes.
Yeah.
Then the singer's kind of done.
Yeah. And it's like, it's hard to, as a singer, like be silly. That's really what it is.
Right.
Be silly and like open up and then just like let loose. And it's like, yeah, no, go for it. Like really yell it or really go like be Michael Jackson-y, on a thing, and then pull it back and then make it more yourself. And you find that so much quicker if you allow yourself to just like be crazy.
Right.
And it's like, listen, we probably won't use this one, but just do it.
Yeah.
So speaking of great singers, I want to talk about a song that I know it's been a minute since you've worked on it, but she's such a huge artist right now.
Yeah.
And I think people would really love to know about it, is a song you did with Tate McRae called Tearing Myself Apart. I know a little bit of the story behind that song, but obviously listeners don't. How did that come about? And then I want to talk a little bit about the production behind it.
Yeah. So that song has a long story in the fact that I wrote that song with Phineas and Billy.
Right.
My relationship with them goes back quite a ways.
Right.
And I got to produce some early stuff for Phineas and his band.
Right.
Because he liked another band that I did.
Yeah.
We wrote 2 songs together, both of which I really love. But the Billy thing became the Billy and Phineas thing, which is by far the cooler way to go.
Yes. I mean, there's a reason they only work together.
Yeah.
And
like, it's amazing, obviously. But we had this song, and this girl, Tate McRae, who was just getting started, she kind of needed something to push her off. And she already had this amazing YouTube thing going on. If you know anything about her, she's just amazing at singing, amazing at dancing. Like, she's a package.
I worked with her around the same time you did. And I remember when I first worked with her, I think she was 14. Just so crazy to me. But it's like, there are some people that you meet them and you're like, oh, you're going to be a star.
Right.
Just kind of immediately. Obviously, it happened for her. But continue. Go ahead.
Anyways, we had this Billy song, and they showed it to their label and everybody, and they're like, this is perfect. I got to meet her, and her mom would come with her to all our sessions at the time, which
is a good thing.
It's a great thing.
Yes. And Tate's mom is also wonderful.
Yeah.
She's a very sweet woman.
That process was really simple.
Right.
In the fact of like, we had the song, we were just trying to find out, like, just talking with her about the style and what she wants to bring to it and like what's gonna make it hers.
Yeah. I think both you guys did such a great job with that, because I think in the writing, it's very obvious that you can tell that you wrote it with Finn and Billy, especially because Finn has I've also written with him a lot, so I know his style, but you know how he writes songs, and you hear it in there, and you could hear how it could have been a Billy song.
Right.
But you countered that where it's like, oh, Tate really did make it her own.
Yeah.
You know, her unique voice really helps that.
Yeah, and she sung the hell out of it.
Oh,
and like, and her range to like from background stacks to like everything is phenomenal.
Yeah. A couple questions I had with that is the piano in that. Was that I don't know if you remember, was that a real piano that you have in your studio? Is that a DST?
Yeah, that's my upright.
Yeah, that sounds great.
And a funny thing is Finn played that, and then we were about to release it, and we were trying to, and I actually sent the song to Finn, and I was like, hey, what do you, any thoughts? And he had this great thought about spacing out the piano at the beginning. It's kind of moving at the top of the song. It's like, well, it could space out to create some more dynamics and stuff. And so I tried to do it, but her vocals, the way she recorded the vocals was bouncing off that piano.
Right, the pocket of the piano.
And then once I took that away, the vocal didn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh, that could have been really cool for the arrangement, but that's not what we had. And so it's amazing. So like, yay.
Yeah. I mean, it's really interesting when that, when that happens, when it's, you have a very certain pocket in a guitar line or a piano line, and the vocals recorded to that.
Right.
And it's kind of contingent that they're a pair now.
Yeah.
And that's just what it's going to be. The other question